Is Ibis Budget actually Britain's best budget hotel chain, or is it a total waste of money? Today, we are checking in to find out. We're putting their room comfort to the ultimate test and seeing if the Ibis Budget breakfast is actually worth your cash. Make sure to hit that subscribe button because we're getting checked in right now. Folks, and welcome to the room. So, before we get started, this is just Ibis Budget's standard two-person room. Just to begin with, what I will say is Ibis do a few different brands within their hotel arm. This is the budget brand, this is Ibis Budget, so what we've tried to do is keep it in check with the budget series and go for Ibis's budget option. The room itself, it's not a bad size. We'll get to the layout in a sec because it is a little bit weird, but you have got a king size bed in the middle of the room, and we'll see how comfortable that is overnight and report back in the morning. Either side you have got bedside, well, I say bedside tables, they're kind of incorporated with the headboard. There are some power switches underneath one of them. It doesn't look great, it looks a bit dodgy, but hopefully it'll do the job when charging phones or any devices that you need plugged in overnight. At least you can pop them on the bedside table. On top of the headboard, you have got, I want to say funky light controls, but I don't know if they are. They look a bit 80s. Anyway, you've got light controls up there, which control all the room lights and also light up themselves as well if you needed like a reading light or anything. There are two pillars on the bed. There are no more pillows in the room, so if you like a few pillows, you'd probably have to call down to reception and maybe get some sent up. In the corner of the room, you've got the open wardrobe, which is ever popular in hotel rooms these days, and there is a hairdryer on top of that as well if you need to dry your hair, something I never have a problem with. The open wardrobe does a job though. It doesn't look great, but it's there, and if you need to hang anything up, you can. Now in the opposite corner, you have got a little desk which you can put a laptop on, and there's a little hard stool just underneath. There are power sockets just above the desk, so if you need to do any work, you should be able to pop your laptop in there and crack on with it. Above the desk there is a TV. It's not the biggest TV in the world, but it should be ample size for watching it in bed. It is flat screen, and you have got a remote control with it as well. There's a full length mirror in the room with a coat hook as well attached to it, so you can see what you're going to look like before you leave the room, ready for your night out or whatever you're going to be getting up to. So that's always handy. There is air conditioning. I've switched it off at the moment, but the controls are just next to the bed. So if you stay on a particularly hot day, you should be able to stick that on. Also, it does blow warm air, so if it's a cold day, you can pop that on as well. So one thing the room doesn't have is any tea and coffee making facilities, and it doesn't have a fridge either. So let's move on to the bathroom, or maybe you can't call it that. It's the elephant in the room, or it's literally the shower in the room. So the bathroom is in the room. Now you've got the wash basin here with a good mirror and light to it, and you have got Ibis hand wash as well, which actually smells lovely. There is a little towel rail that you can use to put your towel on as well, so that's all right. Now, before I get onto the shower, this is a two-person room. If you share it with a partner, husband, wife, this might not be a problem. If you share it with a friend or a work colleague, then maybe you've got an issue here. So the shower is in the room, and the door is reasonably see-through. It has got frosted glass in the middle, but you're going to be stepping out into the room, so you're going to have to be on good terms with the person you're sharing with. The shower itself looks fine. You know, it hasn't got a rainfall shower, but it looks clean. It's a reasonable size. You have got Ibis shower gel in there as well. and we'll see what the water pressure is like in the morning. There are gaps either side of the door, at the top and the bottom, which could let water into the room, but it's definitely going to let steam into the room. How are you going to find that if you're having a shower at night, or just having a shower and then using the room? That could be a problem. There is a waterproof floor down in this half of the room, and it does make it look really hospitally. I'm not going to lie. It's not a great look. It does look cheap, but they've put it in to do a job because the bathroom's in the room. Now, the only thing that's not technically in the room is the toilet, and that is in the door through there. Now, it is small, and if you sit on the toilet, the door will close on you, and it is quite claustrophobic and cramped in there. There is quite a large gap under the door, so any smells or sounds are easily going to flood out into the room. Once again, that might not be an issue, depending on how well you know the person you're staying with. If you are staying with someone, if you're on your own, all this could be fine. You're still going to have to deal with the steam coming out of the shower, but it could be fine. All in all, you've got a shower, you've got a basin, you've got a toilet. That's great. It is just a very weird setup, and I'm not 100% sure I fully understand it. I get it's safe, space saving, but on first impressions, if I had an option between Travelodge, Premier Inn and Holiday Inn Express, I wouldn't be staying here. I'll tell you that. And if you haven't seen the 3 other videos, I'll pop a link around the screen to them now, and you can check out which one you think is the best budget hotel chain. Maybe you've got an option between 2 or 3 of them at a place you're going, and you just want to check out the room and see what it looks like, and then know where you're spending your hard-earned money and what it's actually going on. I think that's it for the room now, folks. So I'm going to try and get some sleep, folks. In the meantime, I will leave you with a recap of the room, and I'll see you in the morning. Night. Morning, folks. So before I get on to how I slept last night, I have got breakfast included with this room. Now, it was £8.50 extra. I don't believe it has hot food like bacon, sausage, eggs and that, but we're going to head down and we're going to check it out. We're going to see what it's like. So come on, let's go. Right, folks, so we're back from breakfast, and how was it? It was okay. It wasn't great, but everything they had was nice. So you've got your tea and coffee facilities down there. You've got your fresh juice. You've got a few fresh fruits, yogurts, and some cold meats and bread down there as well. There are toasters, so you can toast the bread if you want. There's muffins, croissants, and your cereals as well. For £8.50, when you consider what some of the other budget chains offer, I mean, they're charging probably about £9, £10, maybe just over £10, and you get a full cut breakfast for that. not only the continental stuff, but you get a full cup breakfast as well for that. So it is pretty poor. Like I said, the quality of the produce was fine, and it tasted lovely. The croissants, the muffins, the cereal, the tea, coffee and juice, and that were all fine. I couldn't fault the quality of the produce. It was just, for £8.50, there's just not a lot there. So getting on to the room itself now last night. So I actually slept really well. The bed is surprisingly comfy, which was lovely. Obviously, I'm here on my own tonight, so I just use both pillows because I quite like, two pillows when I sleep, and that was fine for me. That was perfect. The walls are quite thin, and maybe I got lucky, and the fact that it wasn't busy last night here at the hotel. So there wasn't loads of noise. I couldn't hear other people's bathrooms. I couldn't hear other people. I'm on the 4th floor. There's 6 floors to the hotel. I'm on the 4th floor, so I couldn't hear any exterior traffic noise. And this is in a city centre as well. So that was great. Absolutely top marks. The temperature in the room was decent. There is an air conditioning that blows hot and cold air out, but I didn't have it on last night, but I didn't need it on, so that was positive. The shower this morning, so obviously it's a bit of a weird setup here, you could say, with the shower being in the room. Now, for one person, that's not necessarily an issue, because obviously you're only staying here on your own. You can walk out of the shower, and it doesn't matter if the steam goes everywhere or you get water into the room and stuff. The shower itself was actually really good. It's not a rainfall shower, it is just handhold, but it was good water pressure. The temperature was good. Obviously you can adjust the temperature, but it was fine. It did a job, and it was perfect. Weirdly, the shower looked bigger than it was from the outside, so there isn't loads of room in there, and you do knock your elbow sometimes on the door, which then opens the door a little bit. The extractor fan doesn't work, or it doesn't work in a sense that you might think it will, where it makes a noise and whirs round and everything. So the steam does come out into the room a little bit. It wasn't a massive issue, I must admit. Maybe it's because I wasn't in there long enough, who knows. But that was fine. The shower worked. It is just a weird setup with the shower, the basin, and even the toilet. I mean, it's like you're in a cupboard. The door closes behind you, and if you don't stand close enough to the toilet, it does knock you on the back, which isn't great. But all in all, yeah, the shower worked fine. It did a job. Not sure I'd like to stay in here with 2 people, just for the pure privacy factor, maybe. So overall, would I stay at Ibis Budget again? Probably not. Now, it is a chain hotel. You know what you're going to get. They're generic across the board, which is the great fact with these budget chain hotels. When you need a cheap place to stay, you know what you're going to get. I would stay at probably any of the other 3 budget hotels we've covered in the series, over Ibis Budget first. Now, Ibis does have a few other brands to its hotel. It has obviously the budget chain, which we're in. It has the Styles. It has just the Ibis in general that you've probably seen, and a few more as well. It'd be interesting to stay in some of them and see what they're like, because I don't think the price point differs greatly. Hopefully the budget series has been useful to you. If you need to stay in one, or are looking for a cheap place to stay within a certain area, and one of the 4 that we've covered comes up, hopefully you've had a look at the room or on the videos, on the reviews, and thought, actually, you know what, that seems fairly decent for the money, I'll stay there. That's what the series is designed to do, is just to help you out. Like with all the reviews on the channel, we're here just to help you out and hopefully help you make an informed decision about where you might want to stay, and where you might want to spend your hard-earned money at the end of the day. Hi folks, as always, please subscribe to the channel. It's free for you to do. Just hit that subscribe button and you then won't miss a video when we release it. Also drop a like on the video as well, and leave a comment if you want to. Maybe you stayed in an Ibis Budget hotel, had a different experience. Maybe you've got another budget chain that you've stayed at that you really enjoyed and we haven't reviewed that yet. Maybe you hated it and want us to go and review it as well. As always though, folks, happy travels, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.